Hi everyone! Today we're talking about the world of Deadstock fabrics. You might have spotted them on your favorite online fabric store, or maybe you've seen shops specializing in just Deadstock. It goes by all sorts of names: overstock, surplus, remnants, but they all boil down to the same concept. Deadstock fabric is leftover material that didn't make it into the final products it was intended for. Technically, deadstock can come from lots of places. Sometimes it's fabric that brands and designers overordered or were required to order in large quantities due to production minimums. It could also be the result of mills producing the wrong color, a slightly damaged roll, or simply a cancelled order. And since this fabric could end up in a landfill, buying deadstock can feel like a responsible choice. As sewists, we turn to deadstock because it feels like a practical way to reduce waste in fashion. So, is deadstock actually sustainable? Well, the answer isn't straightforward. In fact, the very existence of deadstock points to a much larger issue in the textile industry: overproduction. Some mills even overproduce on purpose, knowing they can sell the extra as deadstock. When buying from a wholesaler or jobber, who is the middle person between the mill and the fabric store, it's tough to tell exactly where the fabric came from and why it was left over. And without any legal requirements from mills to disclose why a fabric was set aside, it can feel like a little bit of a guessing game for conscious consumers. To respond to this, we think it's important to give you some insight on how we source our deadstock, where it's coming from. Whenever we can, we go to the source instead of working with mills or jobbers. This way we get a closer look at the values of the brands we're partnering with, and we focus on working with local, eco-conscious designers who share our commitment to ethical practices. Being here in Montreal, we're lucky to be surrounded by indie designers who already have responsible production setups, sometimes even knitting and sewing right here in Montreal. So a lot of the deadstock comes directly from these small-scale, thoughtful studios. When we find a few rolls dating back from a few years ago, we're honestly thrilled to give this fabric a second life. And we are supporting a type of fashion that is more in tune with who we are. We also work with a few trusted deadstock wholesalers, but in those cases, our main focus is on the quality of the fabric. Whether it's deadstock from an indie designer or a fast fashion retailer, fabric quality is a big consideration for us. It's tricky because tracing a fabric's origins, materials, or durability can be difficult. For instance, deadstock fabrics that are heavily plastic-based aren't sustainable to begin with. So while using deadstock is a smart way to prevent waste, it doesn't completely eliminate the environmental impact that went into making it and using it. That's why when sourcing deadstock from wholesalers, we prioritize natural fibers and fabrics that score higher on our sustainability index. If we come across a beautiful Irish linen or wool suiting, it definitely catches our eye. We always check the composition and details available to make sure it aligns with our standards. Of course, we don't always get it right. Sometimes we'll think a deadstock fabric is a rayon, but a burn test will reveal a fiber composition that doesn't quite meet our criteria. When that happens, we simply don't stock it. It's all part of the challenge of working with deadstock, and when sometimes the info is a little bit of a mystery. Deadstock can be a wonderful, responsible choice, but a mindful approach is key. When you're shopping for deadstock, our advice is to ask questions, check fabric compositions, and do a little research if you can. We're committed to transparency, and we really believe that deadstock can be a part of a journey towards a more sustainable wardrobe. Plus, working with indie designers to repurpose their fabrics is a creative and rewarding experience for us, and it's also a lot of fun to connect our two worlds together. And for sewists like us, knowing the original purpose of the fabric is pure gold for inspiration. We always try to find images of the original garments made from these fabrics to share with you, and recommended pattern ideas. And that's it. I hope it sheds a little light on the sometimes opaque world of deadstock fabrics. Thanks so much for watching. Happy sewing!